my YouTube channel. My name is Chinalyn Ario and I'm with my fellow members.
I'm with Colyantes Angeline, topic introduction. Miss Miapi Jenny, objectives. Miss Caratza Maralo, the history. Miss Cordova Princess, terms with definition. Miss Ibanez Janine, steps, process, how to solve, create, calculate, and illustrate. Miss Barolo Michelle and Miss Arcolio Mar, sample problem. Miss Rama Jean Marie, generalization or conclusion. Lastly, Mr. Reyes Adam, application.
We are going to show you what is broken line.
Hello, our dear learners. I'm Anjan G. Colyantes, and once again, we are the Group 4, and in this video, you'll learn all about the broken line graph. To begin with, let me tell you what is a broken line graph. It is a diagram in which, formed by line segments, connects the point that represents the data. And it has a horizontal axis in which it represents a group of independent variables divided into units of time, and a vertical axis on the other end represents a group of dependent variables that displays the values of the qualitative characteristic being studied. And data points are plotted on such a grid and then connected with line segments to a given approximate curve. An example of this is seasonal fluctuations in sales trends. And data points need to be connected in a broken line. However, instead, they may be simply clustered around a median curve or a median line. And that's it for our introduction of the topic. And as you go further in this video, you will learn all about the history, terms, importance of the broken line graph, and how to solve and illustrate it. So without further ado, let's go to the next topic.
So hello everyone, I'm Jenny Miape and today I will discuss the learning objectives. So by the end of this report, first we should be able to understand and identify the definition of a broken line graph. Second, to know the brief history like who invented and when it invented. Third, identify the definition of terms being used. Fourth, learn to solve problems and illustrate a broken line graph. And the last objective is we should be able to know the importance and uses of a broken line graph. And that's it for the learning objectives. As you go further in this video, you will discover all about what broken line graph. And now let's go to the next clip.
Hi, I am Marlo C. Curetza, the Group 4, and I would like to discuss the history of broken line graph. So the person behind the broken line graph is William Playfair. He is a Scottish engineer and a political economist. And other than that, he is also a secret agent on behalf of Great Britain during its war with France. He founded the graphical method of statistics because it was his job as a secret agent to counterfeit and sabotage the French currency.
Terms that use in our discussion. First, broken line graph is a graph that is used when it is necessary to show change over time. A line is used to join the values, but the line has no defined slope. Qualitative characteristic. It is a data that describes a subject and cannot be expressed as a number. Next is x-axis, the principal or horizontal axis of a system of coordinates, points along which have a value of 0 for all other coordinates. Y-axis, the secondary or vertical axis of a system of coordinates, points along which have a value of 0 for all other coordinates. Last is slope. The slope or gradient of a line is a number that describes both direction and the steepness of the line. The slope of a line is the ratio of the amount that y increases as x increases some amount. Slope tells you how steep a line is, or how much y increases as x increases.
So how can we create a broken line graph?
First, you need to create your y and x axis. Go to Insert, Shapes, and get a line. Draw a vertical and horizontal line. Let's make it thick so it could be seen. So y-axis shows the number of whatever being measured, while the x-axis shows the different time or names being compared. So the vertical line here is the y-axis and the horizontal line is the x-axis. So next is you have to label each axis. The x-axis in our table is the time and the number of people is in the y-axis. So the next is you have to write a scale that shows intervals. The interval starts at 5, 10, 15, 20 in y-axis and 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. from my x-axis. Next is you have to plot the data using points. Go to Insert and find the dot. At 1 p.m., there are 5 people. You are going to place it at 5 and 1. At 2 p.m., there are 5 people in the store. You are going to place it at 5 and 2. And in 3 p.m., there are 10 people in the store. You're going to place it at 10 and 3. In 4 p.m., there are 15, so you place it in 15 and 4. And in 5 p.m., there are 20 people in the store. Place it in 20 and 5. So next thing we have to do is to connect the points with a ruler. But we don't have a ruler, so let's make it imaginary. Let's line it from 1 to 2 and line that rising up from 2 to 5 p.m. Next is write the title. Title for this graph is the people in a store. So I am going to put it above. Now you finally know how to create a broken line graph.
Example of broken line graph. The tabular data shows that on Monday, there are 10 pizzas sold. On Tuesday and Wednesday, there are 30 pizzas sold. On Thursday, there are 50 pizzas. Friday, 70 pizzas. On Saturday, 80 pizzas. And lastly, Sunday, there are 100 pizzas. I will use a broken line graph. Data for a broken line graph is usually presented in two-column table corresponding to the x and y axis. The graph here provides the data about the daily sales of sandwiches every day of the week. We can observe the labels on the axis. The x-axis, known as the independent axis, represents the days, and the y-axis, known as the dependent axis, represents the number of sandwiches sold. A data point on the line graph represents the quantity or a number that matches a particular day in the x-axis. So as we noticed, we put dots for each data value. 10 pieces for Monday, 30 pieces for Tuesday and Wednesday, 50 pieces for Thursday, 70 pieces for Friday, 80 pieces for Saturday, and 100 pieces for Sunday. The graph interprets that it has an increasing slope. Therefore, the sales of sandwiches have increasing starting from Monday. Apart from that, the sales remain on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Another example of a broken line graph, but this time it is a multiple line graph, a line graph that plotted with two or more lines. It is used to depict two or more variables that change over the same period of time. So as you can see at my side, so it is a tabular data of sales of product line A, B, and C from 2012 to 2019. So this is the data that I will gonna use to show you a multiple broken line graph. So I will not elaborate what's in the data since you can see it naman. So I will not elaborate. So let's now proceed the multiple broken line graph. So this is now the picture of it. So as you can see, there is a title which sales of product lines A, B, and C, and there is also a dependent and independent variable. So in independent variable, or known as the horizontal line or the x-axis, it represents the years from 2012 to 2019. Meanwhile, in the dependent variable is the vertical line or the y-axis, and they represent the unit cells. So in the independent variable, they're independent because they didn't depend on the other variable, which is the year. They didn't depend on the other variable. Meanwhile, the unit cells, they're dependent because they depend on the year. So they depend on the other variable. And you can also see in the graph that there is a data point in there which do represent the unit, the quantity or the number that matches what's in the x-axis and the y-axis. So the graph shows that product A, B, and C has increasing slope. Therefore, the sales of the product A, B, and C have increased each year. The graph also shows that among all the product C has the highest sales and product B has the lowest sales. So that will be all, and I hope that you've learned a lot from this day, and have a nice day. God bless!
In conclusion, a broken line graph is a diagram that has a horizontal axis which is divided into units of time, and the vertical axis that displays the values are presented by points that are then connected to one another by segments form a broken line, in which means a highway marking consisting of disconnecting line segments painted between lanes of roadways, indicating crossing from one way to another is permissible. Broken line graph, also called align graphs, are used to show changes data over time. They display trends, patterns, and help us to make predictions.
Use and importance of broken line graphs. Broken line graphs, also called line graphs, are used to show changes in data over time. They display trends of pattern and help us make prediction. A variation of a line graph could be a broken line graph. This sort of line graph is utilized when it is essential to appear to alter over time. Klaseng sad. Sa ganito. Use and importance of broken line graph. So, sige daw ba? Na ito yung video. Ano? Maminaw sa ako ba? Prediction. A variation of a line graph could be a broken line graph. This sort of line graph is utilized when it is essential to appear to alter over time. No, day na siya. So, karon kay kaibaw na ako. Mukhaon sa ako.
And that's it. Thank you so much guys for watching, and I hope you learned something from this video. See you again to my next video. Bye!